All right, I am here to show you how to make a beautiful lotus flower. If you'd like to make this beautiful lotus flower, hopefully if you follow these steps, you will produce one for yourself. You're going to need some origami paper. I got this origami paper from Geico, and it is really cheap. It's like $1 to buy this paper, or you could use construction paper, and the measurement it says is 5.9 inches, but I don't think it has to be precise. It just has to be a square. So you're gonna need that. You're gonna need yarn and a pair of scissors. That's it. That's all you're gonna need for this project. So you're gonna, in order to make the lotus flower, you're gonna need 3 different colors. You could use the solid color, you could mix and match colors, but you're gonna start off with this, your square piece of paper. You're gonna fold it in half, and then you're gonna unfold it and you're gonna cut it down the middle to get yourself a rectangle. Once you get yourself a rectangle, and go ahead and pause the video in between, of course. Once you get yourself a rectangle, you're going to take your rectangle and flip it down so that the color is facing the downside, and then you're going to fold it hot dog style. So I'm just going to go ahead and fold that hot dog style. Great. And then you're going to take it and open it. You're going to fold it at the corners, which is kind of like you're making an airplane. And then I'm going to take the bottom and fold it down again. So funny as I say that, an airplane's going overhead right now. It's almost as if to say, yes, right on point. So now what I have is 2 kind of folded corners. Then I'm going to fold it towards the middle one more time while it's like this. So it looks like this. So I'll take the edges and I'll fold them to the middle line. Like so. And then I'm going to turn it and do it again. Try to get it right. Try to get it as straight as you can. Right at the edge. Good. And then what you have here is a flower petal, and you're going to make a couple of flower petals. You're going to allow yourself to make about 4 flower petals in one color. You're going to make 4 flower petals in another color, and you're going to make 4 flower petals in another color, and that gives you a total of 12 flower petals. Now the next step is to take them and you have to decide what is going to be the flower that's going to be at the bottom. So I want this design to be the one that's going to be the very base flower petal, and I want this to be the top flower petal. So I'm going to put this color in the middle. So the bottom, the base is always going to be at the bottom, the middle flower is in the middle flower petal, and then this is going to be my top. And I'm going to do that. 4 more times. And just invite you to think about what kind of colors you might want to use for your flower petal. See what kind of colors you might be thinking about. There's no right or wrong way to do this. One time I did one that was like solid white or solid black or mixed and matched and just did all different colors. You can just really use your imagination. You could like color on, you could make your own paper, like your own patterns, and like color them first. And then instead of buying just like already printed paper. So now I'm almost done. It's a little tricky sometimes to get them to stay on there. So again, I'm just kind of stacking them, as you can see. And we're almost done. Stacking them on top of each other, and then the last one. Nice. So now we have our, I like to call them like booklets. We have like four little booklets. Now the next level is going to be to take some of the yarn, and we're going to take some of the yarn, and I'm going to cut about, oops, sorry. I'm going to cut about just like a little piece of the yarn. It's not that much. You just need enough to kind of wrap around the base. So I guess like, I don't know, it's like 4 inches of yarn. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all the flowers and I'm going to kind of tuck them in so that they're flat, and kind of bunch them together. Okay, so I have all of the flowers in my hand at once, and it might take 2 people to do this one because it could be kind of hard by yourself unless you've been doing this a couple of times. And so now I have all of them bunched together, and I'm going to make sure that they're all nice and tight and they're all facing the same direction. So you're going to want the open facing to be pointed down. And you see they're all nice and even. I'm going to take the yarn and I'm going to wrap it around the center. And I'm going to wrap it, and I have to get it nice and tight. And this might be one of the moments where you have a friend help you out. But I am going to figure out how to keep it tight. Okay. So now that I have it nice and tight, I'm going to tie it. I'll do this off screen for a second. And you're just going to basically tie it and then squeeze it. Oh, blooper reel. So I'm going to do that again. And so now, okay, I have the booklet, and I kind of like to get cute and put a little bow at the end. You can decide if you want to do that extra work of making a bow. Okay, so now we're going to take the booklet, the flower booklet, and we're going to fold it. So I'm going to fold the edges so that it's kind of like you're folding it down the middle again. So I kind of took the leaves and I folded them, and I'm going to take the edges of these leaves and I'm going to fold them. And you want to try to keep them like you're folding them equally. So you don't want to fold them, if you don't fold them equally, the flower can kind of turn out a bit loopy. And then I'm going to do the same for the inside petals too. And I'm just going to fold them to the outside like so. And so that's what should happen. It should kind of, when you put it down, it should kind of make a star. Cute. Now, this is the part where you flip it over. And now this is the top, this is at the top of the flower. So the bottom is that way, this is the top, and then now I'm going to start and working. So you're going to start from the top is the first layer. You're going to take your fingers on the edges, and you're just going to gently kind of lift the tip and fold it. Oh, sorry. And you're going to lift it up. I like to press my finger like right here at right at this section of the triangle that we created with the flower petal. And it's going to kind of gently go up, and voila, our first fold. And we're going to do that all the way through. So I again like to kind of take my hands and kind of gently start to peel them back with 2 hands going up down the spine. You're just going to work your way up. And this is the part where you have to be kind of gentle because you can kind of rip the paper. So your first one, I would just go slow and be gentle. I've made a bunch of these so I can kind of move a little bit faster. You can pause the video to kind of make sure that you're getting the technique and kind of taking your time. Oops, off screen. So again, you're just going to kind of roll it up. Okay, so I did the first level, and you want to try to kind of get them as inward as possible so that you can have kind of that definition of the flower, having those layers. And so, yeah, you can kind of play with it, with kind of getting them where they need to be. Awesome. So now we're going to do the same thing for the next level. We're going to start at the edge and we're just going to roll it on up. And like that. Voila, we have our next level. And I like to think like by the time you get to this part, it's a little bit easier to kind of figure out how to roll it up. There we go. It's starting to look like a flower. And then we have the last layer. So we just go ahead and finish it off. And sometimes what I like to do for the last layer is I don't roll it up as much as I did the other layers. And even for this one, I went with a thicker type of paper. And so by using a thicker paper on the bottom, it kind of adds like that texture of it being more of like a leaf than a petal, and it kind of creates a dimension of like, it just creates like a different dimension of coolness. So here's our flower. It's pretty beautiful. Yeah, and by using that thicker paper, it kind of also, the paper manipulation's different, so it behaves differently than the thinner paper that I used. And what I like to do is like as a bonus is to create like a cootie catcher, and you basically take a smaller piece of paper and you fold it up and you put it in the center, and it's the same measurement. It's that square shape again, and all you're going to do is basically the rectangle piece of paper that you made. I'll just unfold this thing to come and demonstrate it, but that rectangle, the rectangle that we made to make the petals, you take that piece of paper and you cut that in half and it gives you a square again. Then you take that square, and I like to start at the edges and fold the edges down to make a triangle. And then I open it back up and I do it the opposite way. So you just fold it opposites to make triangles. Then I like to, what do I like to do? Then I like to fold, then I fold the corners so that they create, guess what? Another square. Then what you do from here is you flip it over and fold those corners in, and we still yet again have another square, and then you fold that in, and voila, you make yourself a cute little cootie catcher. And in the center of the cootie catcher, I like to kind of write just a powerful affirmation or something positive, and this turns into basically a blessing holder, and it holds like our blessings or positive intentions, and whenever we want we can just open that up and read it, and there we are. We have a beautiful flower. I'm gonna try to show you another angle of it. Beautiful flower that was made, and you now can make yourself some beautiful flowers.